Okay.
We could make it fun.
Girl power.
Is it going to go on? Because then
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, how was your Taraweeh? How was your iftar? How are you feeling this blessed evening? Are you staying up all night with us? Well, you're welcome. Welcome to Ramadan FM, here live in Leicester. So tonight we are going to be having some girl power, but brothers, don't switch off because this is going to be beautiful, entertaining, and also rewarding, inshallah ta'ala, because my guests are amazing sisters from the area of Leicester. Bushra Ali was born in Huddersfield, though. She moved with her family at the age of 6 to North Wales, where she grew up, and then she studied law, English literature, and Welsh A-level. Ooh, I'm going to be asking you that. Borida. Bushra was awarded a degree in law and she went on to study at the bar. Oh, okay, not that bar. Pay attention, people. We're talking about the law, haram. Her work predominantly involved appearing in court, representing clients affected by various immigration issues. She obviously qualified as a solicitor and moved to Leicester in 2010. Where she was head of immigration department for just over 5 years. I'm going to flip the page now because this is a very talented, mashallah, member of our community. She's been awarded many accolades by the Leicestershire Law Society, including Solicitor of the Year in 2012 and Leicestershire Law Society Solicitor of the Year 2016. She has now taken office as Leicestershire Law Society President on the 23rd of May 2018, which makes me wonder, what have I been doing with my life? Welcome, Bushra. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you for having me.
My second guest this evening is Mahmouda Duke. Now, it says DL here. I'm going to ask you about that. Well, Mahmouda is the founder, CEO and sole owner of Musa Duke Solicitors. She specialises in medical law and her firm was set up in 2003 and has grown to a team of 15, mashallah. Mahmouda was the first Asian female, 6th female overall, president of the 155 year of Leicestershire Law Society from 2015-2016. She is the first female board advisor of the LCCC. Do you know what that is? Come on. I know you Pakistani brothers and sisters like your crickets. LCCC. She's one of 2 Asian females on the governing council of the University of Leicester. I honestly, what have I been doing with my life? Mahmouda won Leicester Mercury Businesswoman of the Year in September 2017, mashallah, and Leicestershire Law Society Solicitor of the Year in April 2018. Welcome to my guest, Salam Habibti.
Wa alaikum salam.
Now I'm just going to stop a second and ask the brothers. I can't hear myself in the headphones. That'd be nice. No, hello, no, not hearing anything. Got a little bit of tinkering going on. It's okay, maybe it just makes me feel, there I am. My soothing tones, there you go. So welcome to our show this evening. Sisters, I want to speak this evening on several things. We want to share really a day in the life of a busy, successful woman during Ramadan. And we've got 2 of our sisters here. Sister Bushra, tell us about your day to day. Are you able to sleep in Ramadan? I mean, I don't see you as a kind of person, from what I've read just there, sleeping until 1 p.m. in the afternoon and then leisurely getting up and
I've been quite disciplined with time anyway, certainly in the mornings. I'm the kind of person that will be up first thing, 4, 5 a.m. and even regardless of it being Ramadan, like to be in the office 6 a.m. and I like my me time, phone's not ringing, people are not asking me questions, and just to get on with whatever needs doing. So being in that routine anyway helps when it comes to Ramadan already.
6 a.m. in the office, and how long do you stay in the office?
Because I start early, I do tend to finish what I call on time. So 6 o'clock in the evening, I want to be home, and that's family time.
So our sister Bushra is chucking in those 12-hour days, mashallah, tabarakallah, and getting up at 5 a.m. in and out of Ramadan, mashallah. And Sister Mamouna, tell us about your Mahmouda, beg your pardon.
That's
tell
okay.
us about your day today.
Oh, my day today. Well, in Ramadan, I have a bit of a line for me. So I've been getting up about sort of 7:30, 8 o'clock, in the office by 9. That's not normal. On a day-to-day basis, I'm normally sort of at my desk. Sometimes I sit at home and work, so I don't always go into the office to work. I get a few hours under my belt before I go in. So for me, at the moment, Ramadan, in the office by about 9, back home for about 6:30, and then come home, do my salah, and have a quiet evening. So in Ramadan, I tend not to work in the evenings.
You know, people outside our community, for a start, can't believe that we fast anyway, 30 days. Let alone carry on with our normal routines, but also adding to it, subhanAllah. What always amazes me is the fact that we must have at least 200,000 Muslims right now fasting. I know there's 3 million in the country, but if you take away children, you take away the elderly, you take away those numbers, I mean, there's got to be maybe even 500,000 people, and yet there's no spike in admissions to hospital. There's nobody actually falling over with exhaustion, but the first couple of days were difficult. Tell us, Bushra, your first couple of days this year.
Because I don't have hot drinks, so I don't have tea or coffee, but I love my fizzy drinks. So caffeine's in my Diet Coke and my Diet Pepsi anyway. So I know it's the caffeine withdrawal first couple of days that you're really going to feel. But I feel it's more in the mind than anything else. I tend to find when the first couple of days of Ramzan fall on the weekend, when I'm out of my structured routine, oh gosh, I suddenly feel it much, much more. But when it's on a working day, so busy at work, and it's all about focusing the mind, I tend to find.
Do you do any secret naps? I'm just going to sit in this corner.
There isn't time for secret naps. No.
That's why I never went into law.
I don't think I ever fell asleep at a client appointment or at the court anyway, as much as I would have wanted to. I don't think I did.
Come on, there must be a stifled yawn.
The afternoons can be a bit difficult, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I struggled with I like my coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that gets me out of bed. So the first day of Ramadan, I struggled. I had the most crushing headache and I couldn't think straight. So on that first day, I did actually sneak home and sleep. So, and actually my head was pounding so much that I couldn't even sleep. It was hurting that badly. Second day I was on the radio and I had to do my prep and stuff. So I had no choice but to sort of focus, and my headaches subsided. Second day wasn't too bad, so I was okay.
That is literally caffeine withdrawal.
It was.
I have the same. I remember when I was in the jungle, and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in 2006. I got we all got hit on day 3 because we were literally having just filtered water, warm water and rice. That was it, nothing else. So
wow.
All of the other toxins had to come out of us.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, everybody listening to this, these are people living, pretty extraordinary lives because you're both running your own businesses. And it is perfectly normal to have naps in the afternoon. I mean, I'm of an age now where forget it. If I'm grumpy tiger by 9 o'clock or weeping tiger,
really?
Which is it's far more distressing. Oh, I can't do it.
Well, I have to say, I did go in on the first day and tell my staff it's Tin Hat Day because my head was hurting so badly, and I did say, and actually what was really sweet was my team said to me, "What? So we're not going to have cups of tea together? We're not going to bring cups of tea?" I said, "No, not allowed to bring me cups of tea. No." So yeah, that was the first few days, but we're used to it now.
So I'm thinking that with all that extra, we do win a lot of time, don't we, in Ramadan?
We do.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I mean, look, I've been freelance for 30 years. In fact, I've only ever, in my whole working life, had 6 months in an office. Do you know that?
Wow.
Yeah, that was at Al Jazeera, mashallah. And I used to go into Press TV as well, but that's kind of fun work. That's in and out of the studio. It's definitely not the same set routine every single day.
But I don't think either Bushra or I have set routines in terms of the work that we do. And, for me, it's a matter of seeing clients. It's a matter of going to board meetings. It's a matter of, dealing with my staff, doing finances, those sorts of things, management stuff. So no 2 days are ever the same.
And with all of that, still finding time to have a family life and still check in with yourself.
Well, tell us about family life. I mean, in relation to Ramadan right now, I know that I know a brother who cooks for his family. He just is the best cook in the family, so it's passed on to him, mashallah. And he said that he likes to plan 3 days, 3 days minimum ahead. He actually has a menu plan, cooks them, so you're not thinking about what to cook every day. Do you plan ahead?
I plan ahead because both my husband and I work. We don't have children. There's nobody else cooking at home, and we like to go through for the whole week. What are we having? And Ramadan, we have a routine where we will both cook, not at the same time, but we will take turns. So it's nice to share that out. And in terms of family time, because none of my family are local, so I would say every third weekend we'll go to Wales and spend that time with the family, and not because I feel I have to, because I'd go insane if I didn't see my family at least once a month anyway. So
Are you
it's
hearing
nice
that
to check
lovely
in.
Welsh accent there?
It's
Isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. I'm hearing it now.
Especially when she talks about Wales.
I know. The minute you said Wales, you went like
Wales?
Gavin and Stacey.
That's a great accent.
Well, my family were actually from North Wales, and North Wales we used to call it Scouse on Sea. So it's funny, like, hi love, how you doing? All right.
All right,
I like
Liverpool
that.
accent,
Yeah.
All right there, Joe.
So what part of Wales are you from?
North Wales.
Oh, go on. Which bit?
Wrexham.
Wrexham.
Wrexham, Mylor.
Yeah, minor. Right on the border. When I say Wrexham, they're like, oh, you can't call that Wales. Just on the border in Chester.
It is,
you
isn't it?
sneeze and you're in Chester.
It's true.
In fact, you probably go and do your shopping in Chester and bring it back to Wrexham. I'm joking. See, that was almost racist. Look at that, racist against the Welsh. Have to be shut down there, astaghfirullah. No, my family were from Rhyl, sunny Rhyl. Oh, it was glamorous when I was a kid. Our
It's
holidays,
not
you
quite
can only
so glamorous
imagine.
now,
No,
is
it wasn't
it?
glamorous then, but it was nice. It was
But
homely.
Rhyl was a treat. So
Rhyl was a treat.
In terms of memories as children, right, we've been really good. Once a year, that's it. Dad's going to take us to the seaside, going to Rhyl, and you all look forward to it.
In the freezing cold grey sea that we thought was like the Mediterranean. Alhamdulillah.
Now, Llandudno's not that far down, is it?
Llandudno's not far.
That's nice. Llandudno's nice.
Yeah. I often get asked if I have any sheep in my back garden. I kind of have to explain no, I don't.
No,
Yeah.
none of that, no. I recommend everybody gets down there at some point, or up there from here, isn't it? And family time for you.
So, well, family time. I live with my daughter when she's not at university, and she's been away for the first 2 weeks of Ramadan. So she's in America at the moment. So she comes back this week, and I can't wait to see her
Mashallah.
and have my fast with her and get back into our family routine. So I'm looking forward to that.
How old is she?
21.
And does she look after you? Do you look after? Is it a bit of both now?
We look after each other.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, we'll cook together in Ramadan. We'll clear up together. We'll do our sehri together. We'll pray together, we'll do a tarawih together. So, yeah.
We're just getting some nice texts here. Thanks very much. Fantastic show. This is really good to hear. Sisters are in full swing, mashallah. Jazakumullah khair. You can put your names on these text messages as well, remember?
There's one above it. I can't see.
That's an old one.
That's an old one. Okay. If you shrink that, brother, I'm going to give the numbers again. You can text us 07450 925 084, and you could actually pose some questions about life, girl girl power health tips in Ramadan to Mahmouda and to Sister Bushra, and even to myself, although not so much healthy tips for me. I'd say, just general tips, fasting brain, socializing Taraweeh. We're all interested in these things. You can also send us a message on the web, studio@ramadan.fm. We are here for you this evening. So one of the questions that we get obsessed with at this time of year is, what is the best or our favourite sehri suhoor to have? Now, here's mine. I'm going to share my best suhoor. It's this. It is 1 whole banana, 2 scoops of plain yogurt, some black seed, a teaspoon of honey, and some milk, and 2 dates chopped up, and all blended together to make a milkshake. And
Wow.
and a tablespoon of oats. That's it. You drink that, you're done for the day.
And
You don't need
that keeps you going.
anything else. And it's really easy because you just drink it down, and then you have your water and you can crawl back into bed.
Okay, well, do you want to know what my favourite is?
I do, Mahmouda.
Well, I'll tell you what my favourite is. My favourite is, this is what I had yesterday, okay? So I had a bowl of blueberries, chopped strawberries, some evaporated milk. I'm a big fan of evaporated
You're
milk.
obsessed.
Condensed milk,
This
I know.
is Mahmouda's obsession, and everybody's allowed one. There's nothing wrong
So
with it.
I have condensed milk in my tea,
Right.
in my red bush tea, or rooibos, if you want to call it that. But yesterday I had evaporated milk and honey, and that was what I had. And I had a gluten-free crumpet and a big mug of red bush tea with condensed milk in it. A massive tablespoon of condensed milk. That's not very healthy, I have to say. But then that's my guilty pleasure.
But you know what? There's got to be balance. There's got to be sweet and sour, and there's got to be, a little bit of natural energy coming through there, mashallah. And I think the main thing is, I felt so full because I had a curry tonight, and that's not my normal food. So I thought, it's got to be light for sehri. It's got to be one of my light shakes again. Bushra, your tips.
I wish mine was as exciting as yours, but I don't think it is. I love watermelon this time of year, but I will not have the energy, I think, to be cutting it in the morning. So I like to cut my watermelon in the evening, put it in the bowl, in the fridge, done. So in the morning for sehri, I can have my watermelon, have some cereal and a fruit juice. Then I'm done.
That's nearly nothing, because watermelon doesn't give you any energy. It gives you that lovely flavour, but there's no real energy value to. Is there to watermelon? Maybe anybody
Well, it's sweet,
knows
isn't
that there?
it?
I feel as though I've had lots of water through it.
But it does actually. The water sustains you, doesn't it? Because it's water and it's solid, and I don't think you.
We're laughing because the text has come through. By the way, there's nothing wrong with the Welsh. I was not saying. My grandmother was a wonderful Welsh lady, and I miss her very much. And her name was, my grandmother was called Frances Parr, and it's a bit like that thing of, I'm allowed to joke about my own culture, okay? But you're welcome. Keep sending your comments in, and love for everyone. Sisters, I think Brother Zed has got a wonderful recipe for sehri. Okay, Brother Zed. When is he going to bring that in? We'll have to find out. So you said yours wasn't so exciting. You have your watermelon with?
My cereal, like to have a bowl of cereal, a fruit juice, and sometimes a banana or a piece of toast with that.
The other night I was so tired when I got up to make my eldest daughter, sehri, that I remembered when she was 14, and when they're babies, when they're 8 or 9, and they literally get up and they're at sleep, and you're just spooning the food into their mouth. And I was sitting there with my eyes closed. She's like, "Mum, you're actually asleep at the table." I don't know what happened. I had some jet lag from Iran, and my day was night. And you know what? This is the first year when I've really struggled at night. I've just hit the wall.
Do you go to sleep after? Do you have a little sleep before sehri?
Yeah.
You do. You see, that's
sometimes. I mean, I had to this year because
your times are late, aren't they?
So we finish the school I'm following, we finish at 3:20. So
because Masjid Umar here is 1:18. So actually, the beauty of that is that you can you do your iftar and you can carry on, and you do Taraweeh, your Quran, and you just carry on until 1:18, and you do your sehri, your suhoor, and you can go to bed. So that's been the best thing, really. And so by the time you don't actually sleep, and it's when you go to sleep and wake up again, I think that's when I struggle, and I think that's probably the hardest bit.
And I feel more groggy. I've tried it. I did it a couple of days. If I had a snooze in between iftari and then sehri, I felt worse.
Yes.
But if I stay awake, Yeah.
So that I like. I
interesting.
like those timings. They work well.
Swings and roundabouts. I mean, you have a really long fast. You have an extra 2 hours.
But it doesn't matter. Once
Doesn't
you're
matter.
asleep, you're
Yeah.
asleep, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
suppose so.
It's
You
it's
sleep
the
through it anyway.
it cuts out the disruption in the sleep. So that works for me.
Okay, fantastic. I'm seeing the sense in that. If you're out there, why don't you call us and tell us what works for you between Sohor and Iftar during these summer months? I'm sure you have your own recipe for success. Studio at Ramadan.fm. I wanted to know about socializing this special month. I have to say, it might surprise you, but I'm not a very social person.
Really?
Yeah.
So you like to be on your own?
I
You
just
sort of-
hide away because I
Do
do.
you?
Because for my job, by the grace of Allah, I get to speak in public and I get to travel to places. And then, I mean, I've just been at a 10-day conference in Iran with 50 of the most incredible intellectuals from around the world. It was a bit like the first day of college. Okay, you go in and you're like, okay, this is really intense. And then it was like that for 10 days. And then everybody gets into their groups. And I mean, Alexander Dugin was there. He's one of the top philosophers from Russia. And there was Scott Bennett, and he was ex-CIA. And it was just absolutely amazing. And so why am I telling you this? Because it was a very intense experience, and that can be pretty tiring. So that's all my socializing. So I tend to just go
Withdraw after that.
just withdraw a bit.
Yeah.
So what about yourselves? And how does it? How does socializing feel for you in Ramadan? Is there a different tone to it, and should there be?
Well, I tend to turn invitations down during Ramadan. I mean, I do my stuff during the day. I will do my meetings in the day. I'll do whatever I have to do in the day. I tend not to like to do things in the evening if they're during Ramadan. But I have to say, this evening, I was invited to something this evening, and I did go. But I went to support one of my Muslim sisters. It was an event which was not a Muslim event, and she said, "Come along, and they will bring us food at iftar time." So come. So I went to that to support her. We were two Muslims and we broke our fast together. But I said, but if I come to that, you come to Tarawih. And she came to Tarawih, mashallah. So, we traded. So it was one for the other. But I tend to turn social events down if I can in Ramadan.
Bushra.
Well, as a friend, as a child, I didn't socialise. I lived a life where no, you can't go out with friends, or your friend time is you see them at school, that's it, you're done. You come home and you study. So I didn't really start.
Was that because you're Welsh? Just joking, listener. Just joking.
Now, Lauren, we'll upset somebody.
And then probably by the time I was trying to climb the ladder in terms of professional career, I hit a point where I realised it's not all about education. It's important to build those professional relationships and have that support network around you. And coming to Leicester, I knew no one. And the first person I knew I could really, really rely on without any hidden agenda was Mahmouda, and she's become one of my best friends. So thank you for being there. So in terms of, I think everybody's got a different perception of what socialising actually is, but I felt the professional network around me was very important, and I enjoy doing professional networking, building relationships and connecting other people to one another. I really enjoy that. But I think in Ramadan, just being selective as to what you choose to do, what you feel can be done inside Ramadan, and what you feel, well, I can do without this month.
Let's go to a couple of texts we've got coming in. The top one, Assalamu alaikum sisters. I want to say how fantastic it is to see all of you on the radio. You ladies are an amazing inspiration to others. If not, they should really be inspired by you doing a fantastic job. Allah grant you all success in this world and hereafter. Jazakumullah khair. That's very, very kind. Mahmouda, why don't you read the second text?
It says, I think socialising in the month of Ramadan should not really be a subject I think we all need to focus on in the month of Ramadan, because socialising takes away the purpose of the month. And I know a lot of people would agree with me, but it's better to be focused and socialise, as we don't get these kind of money every day.
Maybe that's a bit of a typo at the end. These type of opportunities. That's actually why I brought it up. That's why the topic of socialising was brought up. Not to encourage it, not to say, because it's too strange to even think about that. It's that changing. It's watching what we're doing. It's that really managing our time. I wonder about the spiritual aspect when we are not in a position, most of us, to actually just stop doing what we normally do. and dedicate ourselves, for example, to the Quran, what do you change? What do you change spiritually to increase yourself and your connection with Allah Ta'ala during this month?
For me, I make the time. I'm a workaholic, and I would normally work in the evenings. I'd come home, I'd have a break, and I'd work. But for me, in Ramadan, I make a point of coming home, have a shower, say my namaz, I pray my Quran, I'll do my tarawih. So I make sure that that's what I focus on. So the socializing part of it, as I said earlier, I tend to say no to things on the whole in Ramadan. And for me, in fact, I don't leave, once I've gone home from work, I don't leave the house again. So actually, last Friday I went for tarawih, and this friend I promised we would do tarawih every Friday. And actually, it felt very strange to leave the house and drive up Evington Road and see all these people out and buzzing and out and about. And for me, that felt very, very odd.
Now, I'm actually going to raise this. We're on Evington Road here, dear brothers and sisters. And without judgment, I do have to mention that there's a bit of an Eid atmosphere, and I find it a little bit strange,
yes.
Because, each night we're between just breaking our fast and renewing our fast,
yes.
between night prayer and sleeping with gratitude and prayers on our lips, and I just wonder how I'm quite surprised at that atmosphere. I would expect it on Eid. I'd like us to feel a bit calmer.
And I would agree with that. And for me, that was strange last Friday when I left the house to go to the masjid. So, and there were all these people around. So I found that very odd. So, I have to agree that for me, it's a quiet time. My evening is very peaceful. I sit with the windows open, and I like to I tend to reflect a lot, and I will smell the air, smell the night air, and just pray with the windows open, and that for me is really, really important.
Look, our young people are on a different time frame to us, and they've got so much energy in the evening that has been so controlled during the day. What I'm trying to access here is you might be missing out on that full benefit by staying calm the whole day. By actually, just because we're older and we're cutting down on our socializing, it doesn't mean that the young shouldn't actually be calling ourselves to assess each moment of our day as well. I think we want to accept that people are at different stages, but at the same time to encourage the most benefit during this month. Bushra, changes spirituality in this month?
I'm strict with myself, certainly in Ramadan, in not bringing work home. And I've always told myself, even if it means 15 minutes, half an hour extra at the office, finish it, but don't take it home. So that's one thing I'm quite strict about, and I'm glad, because when I go home, it actually is home time. Staying in, avoiding things like so much TV, I like to avoid processed food, I like to avoid takeout. I tend to find having those things then makes me really, really thirsty the following morning, and I'm feeling dehydrated.
Did you just say the T word?
Yes, I
Mahmoud
did.
is absolutely. Honestly, Mahmouda, get back on your chair. Stop being hysterical. You've got a camera. You can see she's very calm. Once upon a time, you could play tricks on the radio.
You can't now. You can't now. Well, looking outside the window here at Evington Road, I can see people filling up that dessert parlour.
I know, absolutely.
It actually made me want an ice cream there for a second, and my daughter would go mad if I did that.
There's an ice cream man somewhere on here as well, I just saw.
Don't mention ice cream to me. Sister Lauren, you're an absolute nutter. I probably should have read that before. Thanks a lot. That's actually from our producer, I think. You really should come to it more often. Thank you very, very, very much. But I'm going to just read this in my mind first. Taking the mick out of the Welsh, sister, but that's allowed. However, I would say all of the Welsh, as previously mentioned, I think they're saying that they're brilliant people. Salam, sister, loving the show. My fave for suhoor is pancake. Good choice. It's really healthy, by the way. Yeah, but they're fried. You mash one banana, egg whisked, pop in a hot pan. I use a tiny amount of coconut oil. True, very good. You eat with fruit, nuts and peanut butter or honey. Yum. Now somebody here says they have camel milk. Really good stuff. Why don't you tell us where you get your camel milk from? Is it from a camel in the backyard? I mean, I am in Leicester here. Oh no, I've just maligned the whole of Leicester. What's going on with my head? Allah forgive me. Allah forgive me. I once drank camel's milk. I was going from Hajj, and a sheikh and the driver, so we stopped on the road on the way to Jeddah, and there was a camel farmer, literally a Bedouin man, and he was milking the camels, and we'd been in the car for hours, and the sheikh said, Sister Lauren, try this. Now, what he should have said is, try a little of this, because there was literally a wooden bowl straight from the udder, and I just downed it all, and he said, no, it would be really bad for your stomach. You just take a sip.
It's rich, isn't it?
It's salty.
Is it?
It's actually salty.
Wow.
But I must have a hard stomach, because I was okay, but it was really interesting and warm from the actual
directly from the
udder.
kettle. Wow.
Yeah, so that was quite an experience.
Well, you did do Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, so
I'm definitely
the strength came.
I am not going to say what I ate for that.
wow.
That's definitely haram. Sister Lauren, I meant to say you're a legend. Thank you.
Oh.
Predictive texting. Legend and nutter. I'm going to test that out and see if that is predictive texting or not. Alhamdulillah. Can you please repeat the Sahur shake idea, including black seed and oats? Happy to. And keep your texts coming in. If I can just see the text address again, is studio@ramadan.fm. That's email. Or you can text us 07450 925 084. We love hearing from you. Let's go over that shake again. So I'm going to test you both. I did say, give me one ingredient of the milkshake.
Bananas.
I said it right. So a banana.
Oats.
Okay, so first of all, you blend the banana so it's mushy in your high-powered little blender. I mean, mine's only 15 quid one. You can get them from most major stores, but they work. You know, one of those shake makers. So you put your banana in, and you also add then 2 tablespoons of plain yogurt, and I add quite a bit of honey, maybe a tablespoon of honey, and then you add your milk. And then you add 1 tablespoon of oats. Why the oats? Because it just fills your stomach. It gives it a nice, I like the quality that it gives. It gives a kind of creaminess to it. And then I tend to chop up some dates, 3 dates as well. So you've got your dates in there.
Nice.
And make sure you whisk it all in. And that gives it a kind of caramelly type flavour.
And actually, it releases slowly.
There you go.
And that's why it keeps you full.
Exactly. And I've never been hungry. And by the way, I read, maybe sisters, you know about this, that yogurt is good for thirst.
Oh,
Anybody
is
heard
it?
that before? Anybody
No.
want to get in touch with that? Have you known that?
But you know, coconut milk coconut water is very, very hydrating.
I can't afford coconut water. It'd be cheaper to fly to the Bahamas and climb the tree myself and buy
But
it.
it does. It hydrates
It
you
is
very
good.
quickly, and it keeps you hydrated for a long time.
Sisters, brothers, anybody know where I can get some cheap coconut water? Because that kills me, you know. I can't be paying £2.40.
What for a litre?
For a
It's a litre, isn't
yeah,
it? It is expensive.
It's expensive,
Yeah.
you know. If anybody can find me some, but you're right, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing to have.
But if you have coconut water, a small glass of coconut water and dates, that's yummy when you break your fast.
That is
And
really
it energizes you very, very quickly.
Mashallah. We've got some more texts coming in. Great to hear your daily grinds. I think that's talking about how difficult it is at work. Loving sharing your daily lives. So for me is always porridge, banana and honey. That is actually one of my favourites as well. Add some cinnamon to it. We have been
yes.
forgetting cinnamon.
Yeah.
I add cinnamon to the shake as
And
well.
that makes it sweet, actually. It's a natural sweetener, is cinnamon.
Do you know how good cinnamon is for you? You're meant to have a teaspoon every single day of cinnamon. Doesn't matter how you have it, just have
And
it.
it's good for inflammation and that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yep, and turmeric as well, but
Yeah.
definitely cinnamon. Try and work it into your daily life. I'll miss this when I'm in Jerusalem next week. Are you going to Al Quds? May Allah bless you. You won't miss anything there, I promise you. Just say hello to Jerusalem from me, inshallah. However, the eggs over there are delicious. I bet they are. Looking forward to my trip. Recommend this pilgrimage in the last 10 days of Ramadan. It's a different world where Ramadan is celebrated with great vigour. Love the chat, girls. I'll definitely keep listening. Love to you, Salma. Did I meet you earlier? Taraweeh. Mashallah. Maybe it's like thinking there's only one Osama in the world. That's an English thing. Are there more than one Salmas? I never knew that. Is that a common name? Is that a popular name? Mashallah. You know what photo always touches me from Jerusalem of the many about that beautiful, beautiful pilgrimage site is a famous one where the Golden Dome, which is not Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is the Dome of the Rock, where all the brothers are praying with their backs to it because it's not our Qibla. And I just find that so powerful. I think people of the world must think, hang on a minute, they love Jerusalem, why aren't they praying towards it? But we know it's not our
Kaaba's the other way,
Qibla. Allahu Akbar. Oh, what a beautiful place. Have a wonderful trip. Sister Bushra, do you fancy reading this text out? Sister Amrin.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters. Great show. Loving the topic. What advice would you have for us younger ones to give us some of your wisdom?
Sister Amrin, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to pass it over to you. That's a very wide remit, just general wisdom. Let's keep it within the Ramadan context. We've talked a little bit about spirituality, but how to feel good about whatever time you can give to the Quran, and how to let it be a part of your life. Perhaps that start with that.
For me, how to give time to the Quran. Well, my biggest regret is this, actually. If I can put it that way, is every year I make a niyyah to pray to finish the Quran in Arabic, and most years I manage to do that, alhamdulillah. But what I also tell myself I will do and should do is read a translation of the Quran, and I fail in that every year. So that's my big regret, and that's something that I would wish that I could make more time to do. So although I put aside the time and I finished my Arabic Quran, I don't make the time to read the translation.
How does it feel reciting it in Arabic? Because my Arabic's so slow. It's impossible. I'm mutilating it. May Allah forgive me, probably. But if you're used to reading it, I want to access. How does that feel?
That it feels beautiful, and one of for me, a really lovely way of doing it. And I haven't done it for the last couple of years, but for a number of years, I put Sheikh Sudais on, and I followed the Quran, listening, to the recitation. And that for me I love doing that.
Do you do it ayat by ayat?
Yes.
So you play him ayat and then you follow it yourself?
Well, I just no, as it's being prayed, I follow it as it's being prayed, and so I recite it with Sheikh Sudais as he's praying it.
I think that's some good wisdom right there. I think that's a fantastic tip.
And that for me, it helps me not to make mistakes because I'm hearing the correct pronunciation of the Arabic, and that for me is very, very special.
MashaAllah, that's your special time. Sister Bushra, Quran.
I, from as early as I can remember, definitely before I got married, my mum and myself and my sisters always had this tradition where through Ramadan we would try to make sure that we've read the full Quran back, and mum would always say, you're going to read the first 10 spari, you're going to have the middle 10, and you're going to have the end 10. And it was coming together to be able to do that. And even after got married. So what I like to do is work my way through reading the Quran back. Or Mum, I've got 5 left. Okay, I'm going to read those as well. And enjoy doing that together. And that's the one thing we always do. And in my house, I've got my own prayer room. That's my room. I say to my husband, you read anywhere else, you go and pray, but this is my room. And I like that me time, focus, there's nothing else in there, no TV. So whether it's listening to tilawat, it's praying namaz or reading my Quran back, that's my space and my time. So I like that.
And I think that's really important. It is recommended you have an area of your house. Not everybody can have a room, but you can have a place where there is your prayer mat and your beads and your little area, and just a special place. And when you're going there, and because that feeds through to your whole body, that gives you an atmosphere of, I'm going here now and this is going to be quiet time for me. Because I just got back from Iran on the second day of Ramadan, and then I had a bit of jet lag, and then I had some catching up to do, and I had to write a letter to Donald Trump, believe it or not, but that's another story. And I really felt by Monday, I'm just not in this Ramadan at all. I'm not feeling it. And I thought, and you start to get panicked. You think, if I'm not feeling it in Ramadan, am I so distant from Allah Ta'ala? And I thought, I know what the answer is here. And I checked myself into a Quran clinic. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? I found the nearest class. I made the niyyah, Allah Ta'ala. This is totally my fault. I am dedicating myself to the Quran. And now every morning, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. I go and I do a Quran class at Didsbury Masjid.
Wow.
And it's going through the Quran in English with parts of tafsir, and immediately that day, and then in the afternoon, by the grace of Allah, I'm recording the Quran in English for another radio station. So I was doing 4 or 5 hours a day, and I was through the roof. I came home. My daughter said, "What's going on? Your energy." And I'm like, "I'm so happy." And so this week is just, completely, reconnected and finding these gems in the Quran and realizing what life is all about. The shortness of it, the gratitude of being here. And, for someone like me, alhamdulillah, it's feast and famine when you are a freelancer. That's just it. It doesn't actually necessarily change because of your age, by the way. That's a little tip. My tip for the sisters then is, you can go freelance, but you are going to have feast and famine. Yeah. I mean, my dad was an actor and he used to say, "Eat now, for tomorrow we starve." But it does mean that you can kind of crowbar your own space. I might be here, alhamdulillah, enjoying my professional time at 1:15 in the morning, but it's meant that the other part of the morning I can be with the Quran, and that's the blessing. We've got some great questions coming through. Thank you so much for this. I'm going to read the comment, and then we're going to go for the question. If you can both see the question up there, have a little think about it. Assalamu alaikum. This one says, "Me again, sisters. Just to share with you, I personally find Ramadan the most beautiful, soul-searching, spiritually uplifting time of year, and is welcomed with excitement and anticipation. I do daily tilawat of the Quran and make a point of reading it with the English translation. It's truly mind-blowing. That ethic of knowing what we're saying so we can embody it, so we can work on ourselves, so that we can, take our tongue and our hands to task and think, okay, wow, I seeing something for the first time and applying it to yourself in the situation you're in. That's the gift of this time of the year we want to take with us, inshallah. Now we've got a question here. What's the question? Mahmouda.
What's your motivation, sisters?
So what gets you out of bed in the morning? What's the driving force?
My driving force is, mine is the people that I help, and the work I do. I'm a medical negligence lawyer, and I deal with people who are victims of medical negligence and have had harm done to them. And for me, the fact that I can make a difference to their lives, but actually, I was telling somebody the other day that I also have a huge I employ 15 members of staff, and I have a huge responsibility to those people. I'm responsible for 15 mortgages on my own. So, that is a big responsibility. So that I have a duty to provide for these people that I've actually employed. So that is one of my motivations as well. But deep down, I suppose, I suppose I'll let Bushra say something.
Carry on.
But no, deep down, I suppose my motivation is to, make sure that I live an honest life and I do a good job and I do things that, inshallah, will be pleasing to Allah.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah, Sister Bushra.
Going from exactly what you've said, it's helping those people, certainly in immigration, victims of domestic violence, or persons fleeing persecution and being granted a right to stay in the UK, not really realising what it means to them. And they come and they say, "What can I buy you?" "No, buy me nothing, just give me your dua." It's those duas that mean everything to us. And when they come and they give you that dua because you've changed their life and what it means to them, don't need any more motivation than that to carry on doing what I'm doing every day.
MashaAllah, it really is. Being of service to other people is something that gives the person who gives their time more than the person who receives it.
It's the making a difference to other people. That's the thing. And actually I feel that I have a huge responsibility. Allah's given me an ability to do something and to help people. And I feel I would be doing wrong if I didn't do that.
And it's a gift.
It's
being
a
given
gift,
that gift
absolutely.
from God to have that facility
The ability
or
to do that.
to make a difference to the lives of others and treat it as a gift from God that you can do that.
Now, of course, we didn't have time in this particular show, but I'm seeing a bit of a series here, hint, hint. Inshallah, we might do this again. What do you think? Will you join me again, inshallah, sisters? Because it's
Inshallah.
been so inspiring for
Would
me.
love to be your guest.
You know, we haven't spoken about TV and films, social media, charity that we do in this month. By charity, you know, it can be, it's not about the money that we're able to give, because brothers and sisters, you may be in a time of plenty and we may not be in a time of plenty, and vice versa. It is often about our time and our willingness. And actually, I do know that I know some brothers and sisters who just make sure that they give, you know, £1 every day into whatever jar that they see locally. And that's continuous sadaqah, and that can also be really lovely. And Bushra's looking going red here, so I have to read this one out. Hello, Bushra Baji. I like milkshake with loads of different nuts in iftar to re-energize. What is your most favourite drink? From JJ, with 30 seconds to go.
That's someone teasing me. I think that's my sister's husband. She's teasing me because he knows it, and they have this joke, I love mango lassi, and that's what they're teasing me about, I think.
Well, thanks for making sister laugh. We hope, inshallah ta'ala, that you've benefited here. We are definitely going to take away your good thoughts and feelings, inshallah ta'ala. Whatever good has come is from Allah ta'ala. Whatever mistakes are my own. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.